Good morning. There's a lot happens in Mark chapter 8. A lot that happens in Mark chapter 8. So I'll put it into two sections. In the first section of Mark chapter 8, we see Jesus once again feeding a large crowd of people. And that in itself is just a good news story. People are following Jesus, they're getting hungry, and Jesus, instead of just sending them away, feeds them, gives them what they need. That's followed by a story of the Pharisees coming to Jesus and demanding a sign. Now, there's been many things happen which are dramatic and are remarkable, and you would say, what more do you need? And so Jesus says, no, I'm not going to give you a sign. Then the disciples are in a boat. They realize they have forgotten the bread. And Jesus gives this weird comment, beware the leaven of the Pharisees and Herod. And they're thinking about bread. That's not what Jesus is talking about. And they're worried because they've only got one loaf. Guys, you've just seen Jesus feed 4,000 people with 7 loaves. He can feed you with one. Then we come into a different part of the chapter, and something significant happens here. There's a healing, and it's a strange healing. A blind man is enabled to see. That in itself is unusual, but we've seen Jesus do this before, and we'll see Jesus do this again. What makes this one unusual is that Jesus needs 2 goes at it. He heals a man. Can you see? I see men, but they look like trees walking around. And so Jesus heals him a second time so that he can see clearly. The significance of that is found in what happens next. When Jesus is speaking with disciples and asks the question, who do people say I am? And they give the answers of what other people are saying. Oh, you're Elijah, you're this, you're that. And then Jesus asks them the important question that you should be asked as well. Who do you say Jesus is? And Peter responds to say, you are the Christ. Now the connection between these, a healing that took 2 steps, Peter's final revelation that Jesus is the Christ, that's kind of how that happens for many of us. We kind of see something about the gospel, but it's all a bit blurry, like trees walking around, not quite in focus. And then eventually it clicks and we get it. And that's happened for Peter here. He finally understands that Jesus is the Christ. We immediately see that means he doesn't understand everything. And that's good news for us because we don't understand everything. The moment we understand who Jesus is, doesn't mean we understand everything. There is good news in this gospel. There is good news for you in this chapter. Keep looking for it. Have a great day.